Hello, this is Dr. Naveen Khanduri. In continuation to previous video, now let's talk about the bone marrow. See this structure, which not showing as much as bone marrow. Bone marrow actually in this region, this portion you can find lots of different kinds of cells. Bone marrow is in this portion, yellow and red things are combining each other. You can find this layer of cell. You can imagine what part of the bone marrow is zoomed in this picture. Again, like the thymus, in this bone marrow, there are cells like dendrite cells and then dendron sheath cell. Each are holding their hands to make a network. Here, those cells which are making the network called stroma cells. They are in green color in the picture, and between this network there are smaller region or gaps inside the gaps. There are other cells, for example cells like hematopoietic stem cell. Now this hematopoietic stem cell is a kind of multipotence stem cells. Okay, this multipotence stem cells can give rise to itself, and also it can give rise to variety of cells, for example lymphoid progenitor cells and myeloid progenitor cells. In case of thymus, you only see lymphoid progenitor cell, but bone marrow is pretty much complex. It can give rise to both lymphoid progenitor cells as well as myeloid progenitor cell. From the lymphoid progenitor cell, it can produce natural killer cell, T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte. All of them are lymphocyte in nature, but on the other hand, myeloid progenitor cell, it can produce all the other granulocytes like neutrophil, basophil, eosinophil, and other hand platelets and also the red blood cells. It can say most of the part of our body among the cells of our blood. So this is about the hematopoietic stem cell. You can also have osteoblast cell. It is the pre-osteoblast cell because it is not matured yet. In the pre-osteoblast get matured, reproduce osteoblast cell. Now osteoblast cell make the bone harden and stronger. Okay, you also have other smaller cell which can produce skeletal muscle cell and also hematocyte stem cell. So these are the different kinds of cells then can be produced from the bone marrow. Bone marrow is a larger player because it is giving rise to variety of different kinds of cells, expecting it myeloid and lymphoid progenitor cells. Now let us talk about little bit about the lymphatic system. Now the lymphatic system is totally different system respecting of the blood circulatory system. You must know this concept that this is not blood circulatory system. In the lymphatic system, blood is not circulatory as the lymph. Lymph is different things. It is not blood. Red blood cells are excluded. We are having other member of blood. So we are having the serum plus we are having B cells and T cells, which is called the lymphs. So the lymph is transported by the lymph capillaries. Then this lymph capillaries go and meet into the larger gland-like structure which are called the lymph nodes. These are the things. It is having serum and TNB lymphocyte cells, so the leukocytes are present here. Now what is the actual flow of the lymphatic? Look at the arteriole to the granule region. Blood pressure is changing in the arteries. Blood pressure are highest in the granules and blood pressure are the lowest in the large granules. Here you can find arterioles. Arterioles are much more smaller than arteries. The arterioles are divided into small branches and also granules divided into small branches and meet into particular point which is called blood capillaries. Question is rise, what do you mean by blood capillaries? Both are having arteriole and we are having granule, but both of them where they meet together very small time miss of network. This is called the blood capillary. These blood capillaries are so small that their nutrients can diffuse to this blood capillaries to the intracellular space where all the cells reside. As you can see in this picture, these cells can easily uptake those nutrients, and also they can give their bag material or metabolites or metabolic byproducts and all these things back to this blood capillaries, so that this bag materials can easily transported to the venules. So veins contain all the remaining products of the cells. Arterial provide them like essential part. So this is the actual thing which is happening in the blood capillaries all the time, okay? But lymph is interfering with this process. So lymph entered into this blood capillary system. Now what happened in this blood capillary system? Some amount of fluid can enter to this lymph, so as this from the blood capillaries, food and all the materials are moving outside. Red blood cells cannot move outside, but what can be moved is serum with the nutrients can easily move outside in the extracellular space and easily enter to this lymph vessels or lymph capillaries. In this position of extracellular space, pressure is higher than the pressure that reside in the lymph capillaries. So we know that always it's a tendency for the moving the liquid from the higher pressure region to lower pressure region. What happens that come out from the blood capillaries in the extracellular space? As they are having the higher pressure, they can easily enter to capillaries by diffusion process and then move to this lymph capillaries. Now look at the lymphokinetic motion. We can find that the blood pressure are higher in the capillaries because capillaries are very, very tiny. They are having a less volume region, so very less area, but the volume of the blood remains same, so creates higher pressure. After that, it is having interstitial fluid, also high pressure region, from they can easily entertain lymph vein, lymph capillaries, lymph duct. Finally it will be returned to the venules. So this is the process of circulation throughout the place. Thank you very much. Thank you.